Good morning. Before we dive into today's discussion about the case study, let me set the stage for our discussion. Imagine a place where the land is dry and the resources are scarce, where the struggle for survival is a daily battle. Just imagine it. Now, picture the women of this community, carrying the weight of these struggles in their shoulders, often overlooked and underappreciated. This is the story of Katheka, a semi-arid area in Kenya, and the essential yet often unrecognized role of women in its development. Welcome to our presentation entitled Struggles in Achieving Gender Equality, the Overlooked Role of Women in Development During Hard Times in Katheka, brought to you by Group 1 MLS 1G. I am Krisha Grace Perales, and I will be the one that will be discussing about the case study in detail and how the case was dealt before. And my partner will be Lady Jane Albios. She will be the one discussing about the new GAD approaches for the case of Katheka. Now that we have finished our introductions, let's first start with a couple of questions to ponder. What are the primary challenges faced by women in Katheka? How do these challenges impact sustainable development efforts? These questions guide our exploration of the multifaceted issues in Katheka and the critical yet often invisible contributions of women. Before we discuss the GAD approaches that we recommended, it is very important that we truly understand the situation, the government focus in that period, and the approaches to the struggles. What is the situation of Katheka? Katheka, located 85 kilometers from Nairobi, faces severe environmental challenges, including fragile soils, frequent droughts, and water shortages, which hinder development. With a population of 2,800, many men work away from home for extended periods, leaving women to manage daily village tasks such as fetching water for up to 5 hours during dry seasons. Women also handle agricultural work, household maintenance, and family well-being, which significantly impact their ability to contribute to sustainable development efforts. The case study number 5 about the drought of Katheka is said to highlight the role of women in development. The reasons are, for starters, it was mentioned in the case study that during the drought of season, the women are responsible for fetching water, which takes no less than 5 hours. This immense task underscores the physical and emotional burden placed on women. The time and effort required to secure water in such harsh conditions highlight the resilience and strength of these women. By dedicating a significant portion of their day to fetching water, women are not only ensuring the survival of their families but also contributing to the community's overall well-being. Their role is vital in maintaining daily life and supporting agricultural activities, which are critical for the community's survival and development. Secondly, it was mentioned by the study that in the struggle of the people of Katheka, it is mainly the women who face the daily challenges of village life. This includes not only fetching water but also managing household chores, caring for children, and working in the fields. Women are the backbone of the community, ensuring the essential tasks are completed despite the numerous hardships. Their continuous efforts in both reproductive and productive work demonstrate their significant yet often unacknowledged contribution to the community's development. By highlighting these daily struggles, the case study brings attention to the indispensable role women play in sustaining and developing their community. The acknowledgement is crucial for advocating for policies and resources to support women's contributions and address the challenges they face. Despite the critical roles women play, gender issues had not been thoroughly studied until a team undertook this task in 1993. The study aimed to shed light on the gender dynamics within the community and recognize the significant contributions of women. By focusing on the gender aspect, the study hoped to bring to light the invisible labor that women perform daily. It also aimed to challenge the traditional views and biases that often marginalize women's contributions. The study was a crucial step in understanding the gender dynamics in Katheka and advocating for more inclusive development policies. As modern and as open as we are now to the studies about gender and society, we could instantly question the behavior and approaches to the situation of Katheka. Well, if we look back at the situation of the past, we could point out several factors contributed to the lack of focus on gender studies. Firstly, the limited government resources meant that immediate economic and infrastructural issues took precedence. The government of Katheka, during the period of struggle, had limited capabilities to address all development challenges, leading to a prioritization of more immediate needs over long-term gender studies. Additionally, traditional cultural norms and gender biases often marginalized women's roles. These societal attitudes were reflected in the government's policies and actions, which focused more on conventional economic development rather than addressing gender-specific challenges. This neglect resulted in a significant oversight of the crucial role that women play in the community. Let's talk about the results of the study. The study revealed that women in Katheka, like those in Ghana, Tanzania, and other parts of Africa, bear primary responsibility for reproductive work and are heavily involved in productive and community work but have little control over resources and benefits. This disparity hinders development efforts. Although the study did not directly benefit the community, it raised awareness about the unequal distribution of work and resources, highlighting women's significant workload and lack of recognition. And control was a crucial first step towards addressing these disparities and advocating for more equitable development policies. So what are the approaches in terms of division of labor, you might ask? While in Katheka, women work 13 to 16 hours a day, compared to about 6 hours for men. They are overwhelmingly responsible for productive work like cooking, cleaning, and fetching water. Boys between the ages of 5 and 17 also contribute, as do men from wealthier households. Both men and women participate in productive work, with women handling most agricultural tasks except for spraying pesticides. The community in Katheka has a long history of communal work, possibly because of the fragile environment and high poverty levels, both of which demand a supportive community. Both men and women are involved in the community work, but women appear to be more consistent and committed. However, access to and control over resources is heavily skewed. Both men and women have access to most resources in Katheka, but men largely determine women's user rights. Unlike access, women have limited control over resources such as trees, money, skills, and tools. They also have little control over benefits, as decisions about these are made largely by men. This gender division of labor and control over resources perpetuates inequality and hinders sustainable development. In conclusion, the gender dynamics in Katheka reveal that women bear the brunt of both productive and reproductive work with limited control over resources, leading to low productivity and high poverty. Despite these challenges and unsuccessful fundraising efforts, the community's ongoing mobilization of local resources and collaboration with church organizations highlights their resilience and commitment to addressing water scarcity and improving living conditions. Thank you for your attention. Now that you are aware of the details of the case study, I will pass the floor to my colleague who will discuss the recommended gender and development approaches and steps forward for the community of Katheka. Take it away, Jane. We will now proceed to the two technical approaches recommended by the group: community-based water harvesting and storage systems and solar-powered water pumping systems. Let's start by explaining the approaches one by one. The first approach, community-based water harvesting and storage systems. It is feasible and practical because it utilizes traditional and locally available methods for collecting and storing rainwater during rainy seasons. This approach involves building check dams, rooftop rainwater harvesting systems, and underground storage tanks to capture and store water. By leveraging local materials and labor, the costs are minimized and the community gains a sense of ownership and responsibility for the maintenance of these systems. how can we put this into action? What agencies or what support groups would help the people in Katheka to make this project possible? The agencies and support groups in Katheka that can assist including the local NGOs such as the Katheka Community Development Organization, government bodies like the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, and community-based organizations. These groups can provide technical expertise, funding, and training for the community members to implement and maintain the water harvesting systems. It was proved to be effective because countries like India have used this method successfully. In Jharkhand, India, community-based water harvesting systems have led to increased groundwater levels, improved agricultural productivity, and enhanced community involvement in water management. This success demonstrates that with the right support and community engagement, similar outcomes can be achieved in Katheka. The second technical approach is the solar-powered water pumping systems. It is feasible and practical because it harnesses renewable energy to provide a consistent and reliable water supply. Solar-powered pumps can extract water from wells and boreholes, reducing dependence on erratic rainfall and traditional fuel-powered pumps. This approach is particularly suitable for regions with abundant sunlight, ensuring a sustainable and environmentally friendly solution. So what agencies or support groups could help this technical approach work? The agencies involved in Katheka include local NGOs like the Katheka Renewable Energy Initiative, government bodies such as the Ministry of Energy, and community-based organizations. These organizations can provide the necessary technology, funding, and training to install and maintain solar-powered water pumping systems. It was proved to be effective because a country like Kenya have used this method successfully. In Kenya, solar-powered water pumping systems have been implemented in arid and semi-arid regions, providing a reliable water supply for drinking, irrigation, and livestock. The success of these projects illustrates that solar-powered systems can significantly improve water access and quality of life in similar communities such as Katheka.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Miss Rodas. No, we can really see na in Kathika, women face many challenges that make it hard for them to be recognized and supported. These struggles highlight the need for greater recognition and support for women to achieve true gender equality in development in Kathika. So, here we will be presenting to you the recommended GAD approaches or the gender and development approaches in addressing the problem about women and development. But first, how can we actually empower women in Kathika to overcome the systemic barriers they face in development? Of course, by addressing the underrepresentation and under-evaluation of women's roles is crucial during challenging times. Here, we outlined the recommended gender and development approaches tailored to foster gender equality and empowerment women. Let's start for division of labor. Our goal on this one is that we aim to make sure that both men and women share household chores and work outside the home equally, as this will create a fair and balanced community where everyone has the chance to grow and thrive. So first, let's identify the situation of women in Kathika. In Kathika, women face heavy burden. Imagine they handle both domestic chores and reproductive work, which leaves them with little time to rest, education, and personal development. During the dry season, for example, fetching water can take up a significant part of their day, making it even harder to balance their responsibility. Thus, this cycle of overwork and limited opportunity keeps them from fully participating in economic activities and improving their lives. So how can we do this? How can we establish our approaches or our goals? First is community engagement. We have to make everyone involved. We need to get the community talking about gender roles and how can we share responsibilities later. As community leaders, they can start these conversation and show good example. By doing this, we can organize regular meetings where everyone can discuss gender roles and shared responsibility, or at least we can create support groups where both men and women can share their experiences and learn from each other, as this can help build a sense of community and shared responsibility. Next is sensitization. We can organize workshops, seminars, and media campaigns to challenge old beliefs and stereotypes about men and women should do. This will help change how people think about gender roles. For the media campaigns, we can actually use local radio, television, social media, or even newspaper to spread messages about gender equality and the importance of shared responsibility. And we can include positive stories and role models that can inspire change. The educational initiatives is that we should provide education to both boys and girls that promote a balanced view of gender roles from a very young age. So in this way, we can help them grow up with the belief that everyone should work equally. In school, we can introduce programs that teach children about these certain issues. For the comprehensive support for reproductive work in Kathika, our goal is that we aim to help women in Kathika by setting up a strong support system for reproductive health and childcare. So this will help them make informed decisions, share domestic tasks, and get the community support they need. As we all know, or the situation of women in Kathika, women face many challenges with reproductive work, which includes childbirth, childcare, and household chores like cooking, cleaning, and fetching water. These tasks are hard and take a lot of time, leaving women with little chance to rest or improve their skills. Access to good healthcare is limited also. So parang so many women have problems during pregnancy and childbirth because there aren't enough good medical facilities and trained doctors. Education opportunities are also limited, so women often lack knowledge about reproductive health, leading to more early pregnancies and larger families. So, how can we do this? We can do education and awareness. We can organize workshops and classes to educate men and women about reproductive health, family planning, and their rights. This will help them make informed decisions. We can do information campaigns also, like what I've said earlier, local radio, posters, and community meetings if we don't have enough funds for workshop and classes. In order to spread important information about reproductive health, and the most important one is family planning. Gender equality and domestic roles. We can do this by encouraging men and women to share household chores like cooking and fetching water depending on the skills that they have. These will ease the burden on women and give them more time for productive work and personal growth. We can create programs also where men and women who already share household chores can share their experiences and benefits, encouraging others to do the same also. And of course, the most important one is community support. We will create a strong community support to offer essential services such as childcare and health clinics. This is especially during the important season like dry season when fetching water can take up to 5 hours. Community support, we can establish a community childcare centers which look after children while parents are working or attending educational programs. We can also set up local health clinics to provide easy access to healthcare, especially during busy times like the dry season. So for the related studies or for supporting studies is that according to the Asian Development Bank, or ABD, that highlighted communities, most specifically in the Philippines, that promoted gender equality in domestic roles saw 20% increase in women's participation in economic activities, and men who participated in domestic tasks reported higher family satisfaction, and women had more time for education and personal growth, leading to increased household income and improved quality of life. Next is enhancing women's access to economic opportunities in Kathika. Our goal is we want to improve women's access to economic opportunities in Kathika through strategies. This will help them participate more effectively in agriculture and other economic activities. First is let's identify the situation of women in Kathika. Women are deeply involved in agriculture, but they face significant challenges. They often don't own a land, which limits their ability to farm effectively. They also lack formal education and training, which means they struggle to adopt modern techniques and manage their resources efficiently. As a result, their productivity and economic opportunities are restricted. So how can we do this, or what are our strategies? First is equitable resource distribution. We will ensure that women get equal access to important resources like land, agriculture inputs, and technology. This is crucial because women in Kathika play a major role in farming, but they often face barriers like unequal land ownership, which limits their productivity. We can work with the local authorities to ensure women have access to land ownership and fair use of agricultural inputs also. These could include legal support and partnership with organizations that advocate for women's rights. We can also provide men and women also with access to modern farming technology and inputs such as improved seeds and irrigation system through government programs or partnership with like here in the Philippines with the NGOs. We can also set up training programs that teach men and women modern farming techniques, financial management, and market access. These programs should be accessible and tailored to their specific needs and existing knowledge. Parang we can provide them no with hands-on and practical focusing on the skills that can immediately benefit their work. For example, in the Philippines, giving seeds to farmers is important for improving farming and food supplies, like programs run by the government, like the Department of Agriculture Seeds Distribution Program that provide high quality seeds to small farmers. So we can also do this in Kathika. The empowering women through community decision making is our goal on this one is to empower women by ensuring that they have a real say in how their community is run. This will help create a fairer and more effective community. So first, let's identify the situation of women in Katika. Women in Kathika, they are the backbone of many community activities and contribute a lot to their local area. However, they are rarely included in leadership roles. This means that their needs and perspectives might not be fully considered when it comes to decision making, which can affect the overall success and fairness of community projects. We can promote inclusive decision making. In Kathika, women are essential to community life but often don't have say in important decisions. This means creating opportunities for women to be actively involved in shaping community plans and decisions. How can we achieve these goals? We can create platform for participation, like we can establish Women's Council, where women can participate in community planning and decision making. These groups will give women a formal way to share their ideas and influence decisions. Advocacy for policy changes. We can work with the local leaders to create policies that support gender equality in leadership roles. This includes advocating for women to be included in decision making bodies at all levels and support women leaders also. We can provide training and support for women who are interested in leadership roles. This will help prepare them to take on positions of influence and contribute effectively to community development if they want to. Next is empowering women's access to resources in Kathika. Our approach on this one is that women in Kathika play vital roles in both households and agriculture but face significant challenges in accessing and controlling resources like land, money, and tools. Our approach aims to address these issues through community education, policy changes, and empowerment programs. First, let's identify the situation of women in Kathika. Women in Kathika are essential to managing household and farming. However, they struggle to access and control. Does this limit their ability to improve their economic situations or fully participate in community development? So, how can we do this? We can do community education, provide education to women's rights, and resource development. We can do workshop and seminars, organize regular workshop to teach women about their rights and related to land ownership, financial management, and access to tools. We can collaborate with the local experts or, for example, NGOs to deliver these sessions. Educational materials, develop and distribute easy to understand materials, including brochures and guides that explain legal rights on financial planning and resource management. We can also use, of course, the local media and community leaders to at least spread awareness and encourage participation in educational programs. For the policy reforms, we can advocate for policy changes to ensure that there is gender equality and resource access. How can we implement this one is that we can do policy advocacy, work with the local governments parent and policymakers to propose and support policies that promote equal access to land, credit, and agricultural tools for women, including men also. legal support. We will provide legal assistance to women seeking to claim their rights to resources or address these discriminations, and partnership with a legal aid organization to offer free or low-cost services. And of course, monitor the implementation. We will be going to establish a monitoring system to track the implementation of gender equal policies and address any challenges that may arise. For the supporting studies is that according to UN Women's Findings on Empowerment Program, show that women participating in empowering programs that include financial management and resource access trained experience a 30% increase in income and economic independence. Thus, these programs significantly enhance their ability to control and utilize resources effectively. So the main reasons for these new recommended approaches stem from addressing the underlying causes. Parang by doing so, we can tackle potential issues and present effective solutions. So what are the potential problems and solutions in regards with the approaches proposed? First is resistant to policy change. Some local leaders or community members, they may resist changes that promote gender equality. So our solution in this one is conduct advocacy campaigns to demonstrate the benefits of gender equality for the entire community. We can share success stories and evidence from the areas where similar policies have worked. We also have limited resources for training. There may be insufficient resources to run comprehensive training programs, but in this way we can actually seek funding with for example, NGOs, with the local governments, the government grants, or international organizations to support these programs. We can leverage partnership with the local businesses as much as we can to provide materials and resources at reduced costs. Lack awareness. Some women may not be aware of their rights and available resources. Thus, we can implement widespread community outreach using local media, community leaders, and public events to raise awareness. We can ensure that educational materials are available in local languages and accessible formats. And leverage local resources. In this way, we can recruit volunteers from the community to help organize and run meetings, workshops, and educational programs also, since many people are willing to contribute their time and skills for the benefit of their community, of course. For the partnership, we can actually collaborate with the local organizations such as schools and businesses to share resources and support. These partnerships, they can provide venues, material, gradual and scalable programs. We can start with small scale pilot programs to test and refine the approach. Once successful, then we can seek additional funding and support to expand the programs. And mga phased rollout, we can roll out initiative in phases to manage cost effectively. We focus more onto the key areas first, and then we can expand gradually as additional resources become available. So for the summary of the new approaches, at the end of this case study, of course we would want to see every woman and man in Kathika has the opportunity to pursue their aspirations, where her contributions are recognized and valued, and where gender equality is not just a goal but it is a reality. By addressing the root causes of inequality and empowering women through these strategic approaches, we can create a community where prosperity and opportunity are accessible to all regardless of gender. Additionally, we also have to take note that if no one takes the initiative to change these traditional roles, the situation will remain the same. The approaches will go on to waste. The community will continue to follow the same patterns, and women will remain trapped in this exhausting cycle. Changes requires proactive efforts, and without them, there will be no progress towards gender equality.
So that is the end of our report. Thank you so much for listening. Case closed.